Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dogs on Zoom, presented by Pedigree. I'm Becca, and I'll be your host for this hour. I wanted to go ahead and tell you a little bit about Nashville Humane and the dogs that we're going to be featuring today. We have Mickey and Molly. They are a bonded pair of miniature poodles. They are seniors, but they're amazing. They are Netflix and chill dogs. We also have Gabriella. She's a year and a half. She's a pointer mix. She definitely has some jump in her. She's amazing. She'd be great with an active family. We have Moose. Moose is a year and a half. He's a shyer guy, but he absolutely loves treats and he loves playtime with his human companions. And then we have Kitty, and we have a feeling she's going to steal the show. Isn't she adorable? She's 12 weeks old. She's a Newfoundland mix, so she is going to be on the size of about a large bear. So she's going to be a big kid when she grows up. And I'm going to go over to the Q&A. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in, and I'm going to answer them live. I was asked a little bit about another dog named Maggie. Maggie is still available. If you're interested in adopting, I'm going to type in the adoption process, not only for the dogs featured on Dogs on Zoom, but also for other animals featured on our website. I was asked about a dog named Inky. Inky is actually currently in a foster home, but Inky is currently available for adoption on our website. So you can visit and learn that process. Moose is a German Shepherd mix at best guess, probably with a little bit of mountain cur. He is fully grown and he weighs about 60 pounds. This is a comment, but we love Kitty too. Thank you, Christina. We think she's pretty amazing. Gabriella does have experience with kids. She is a little bit jumpy, so we would definitely say older kids, probably 10 plus. She's a border collie mix. Right now, we do have some poodles available for adoption. Mickey and Molly are a senior pair, but that's going to be all that we have currently. They do shed less, so they are closer to being a non-shedding dog, but there's really no such thing as a non-shedding dog. I was just asked if Gabriella is fully grown, and she is. She weighs up between 45 and 50 pounds, and she's not going to get any bigger. Hanson is actually going to be featured in our dog Zoom tomorrow. So I definitely would encourage you, Olivia, to come back and learn more. Kitty is, we're getting lots of questions of Kitty. She's absolutely amazing. I'm going to type into the chat now how you can go about the adoption process. So you can see all the websites to click onto, including our personal website as well as the Pedigree website as well. Thank you, guys. I'm hearing a lot of people are super interested in adopting Kitty. So again, I'm going to take a sec and type in the adoption process so you guys can learn all about it. So I got a question about Moose and whether or not he'd be good with kids. And we would suggest probably not. He's a shyer dog. He grew up without children in the home, and so he really doesn't know what to do with them. So we would suggest potentially older kids, maybe dog savvy kids, 15 plus. I had a question about Mickey and Molly and whether or not they're potty trained. They are pee-pad trained, but they are not housebroken fully. They do understand the concept, and we do believe that old dogs can learn new tricks. So with structure, they probably could learn that process. I got a question about the spay neutered process. We sterilize all animals before they are adopted into loving forever homes. You guys are asking such good questions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We talked about this earlier, but Kitty is a Newfoundland mix, so she is going to be quite large when she's all grown up. She's just 12 weeks old now. And I think someone was just asking a little bit about Kitty and whether or not she'd be good with other pups or kids. And I can answer she is great with other dogs. She actually went home with a friend of mine over the weekend and has done amazing, played well, and had really good play behavior. And I think that she'd be great in a home with kids because she could grow up with them. So I had a question about what dogs will be showing this evening. And so these are the 4 featured dogs for tonight. And we'll have additional dogs on Tuesday and Wednesday Zoom. So we definitely encourage you to come back and learn more about them. I just had a question on whether or not we transport dogs. And right now, during the pandemic, we're only doing local adoptions or those people that can drive to adopt the animal once the application has been approved. We are doing all virtual meet and greets. So this Zoom meet and greet is how everyone will be meeting dogs moving forward. So dogs that are featured in our foster homes or dogs that are here at the shelter. We are currently closed to the public at this time. I had a question about the age of Mickey and Molly. Mickey and Molly are 14 years old and they are a bonded pair. So that means they do need to go home together. I had a question about Gabriella's history. Gabriella came to us from a partner shelter. We work across Middle Tennessee and beyond with shelters that have at-risk pets in their shelters. She had previously been in a foster home. She's done well. She's very into routine, so she likes to have structure in her home. I think she would do best in an active family or potentially with someone who works from home. I have a question about Moose and whether or not Moose is good with other dogs. Moose would actually prefer to be your center of attention. So we would suggest Moose being the only dog in the home. I had a question about Gabriella and whether or not she's housebroken or good on a leash. Rebecca, she is housebroken. She had previously was in a foster home and they had worked really, really hard to make sure that was something that she came back to the shelter with, and it's been wonderful. She is good on a leash. She can be a little bit nervous when the leash first goes on, but with positive reinforcement and delicious cookies, she does great. So I just typed into the Q&A about the process for adopting. So you guys can look over there to catch those links. I was asked the thing that the animals receive prior to adoption. All animals receive intake vaccines. They're going to be sterilized. They'll also be microchipped. So at the point of adoption, they will be up to date on whatever vaccines they need. They'll be sterilized and they'll be microchipped. I just got a question about Claudia, and Claudia was planning on being on the call today. Unfortunately, she's a little bit under the weather with a doggy cold, and so she's in our vet clinic, but we hope to feature Claudia real soon. So I am typing in the adoption form and the adoption process into some of these Q&As so you guys can find that. So as you're asking, I'm trying to get that to you as quickly as possible. Thank you guys for so much interest. This is wonderful. Thank you, Lori. We absolutely love this. We're so happy to have the Pedigree team supporting this promotion. Dogs on Zoom. Who would have ever thought that this would have been a thing? But we are innovating. We are doing more. We're going to continue saving lives. But it's thankfully we have these amazing partnerships with Pedigree, and we're going to keep doing the good work. So thank you guys for being here and for being excited about this new way of adoption. I'm going to go ahead. We've had a lot more people join, so I want to go ahead and just kind of review the animals and the adoption process for you guys. So we have 4 dogs that we're featuring today. For Tuesday and Wednesday, we will have different dogs that we will be featuring. Tonight, though, we have the amazing Moose. Moose is a German Shepherd Mountain Cur mix. He's about 60 pounds. We're about to zoom in on him so you guys can kind of get the full picture. He's pretty amazing. He's a 1.5 years old. He's a shyer guy, but once he gets into a home and gets comfortable, I really think that he would blossom. And he wants to be the only dog in your home. So he wants to be the center of attention. We also have Kitty. Kitty is a Newfoundland mix. She's 12 weeks old. She's going to be a big kid when she grows up. So you're looking at anywhere between 60 to 100 pounds. We also have Mickey and Molly. They are the incredible duo. They are a bonded pair. They are seniors. So they really are Netflix and chill kind of dogs. They just want to hang out. And then we also have Gabriella. She is incredibly active. I think you guys can see her jumping up and down. Incredibly loving. She's wonderful. She is housebroken, and she is a border collie pointer. I just had a question about the health of Mickey and Molly. They are seniors. So while they're having a bonded pair of seniors in your home, we've done everything we can to make sure they're healthy while they're in our care. And again, guys, I'm typing in the adoption process into these Q&As, so you guys can go in and click those links and start filling out those applications. So I had someone ask again about Moose's history. Moose was an owner surrender. His family couldn't care for him anymore. He came into the shelter super shy and shut down, but our team has been working with him, getting him excited about going outside, all the different enrichment pieces. We would suggest that he go into a home without kids or kids that are savvy with dogs, so maybe 15 plus. He can be a little bit nervous when he first meets people. That's something that a family can work through with him. So I had a question about kind of the adoption process, and we have had to innovate. My goodness, it's been interesting, and thankfully you guys have been along for the ride. So we really appreciate that. Right now, everything is done virtually. You do not have to fill out a new application for every animal that you might be interested in. You need to fill out one application. We do keep those on file for up to 60 days. So if you filled out one, you're good for a few months while you're perusing and trying to find the right pet for you. I got a question about Kitty and whether or not she would be good with cats, and the answer is yes. While she was in a foster home this weekend, she actually was in a home with a senior cat, and she did great. She took cues wonderfully. So I think that she would do great in a home with cats. I had a question about the application process. So again, I'm typing those into the Q&A section. If you complete your application online, you can actually just hit the submit button and that'll come directly to us. If you have emailed the process to start the adoption process, we ask for patience. We receive roughly about 300 to 600 emails a day about adopting animals that are currently featured on our website. We are posting animals on a regular basis, Wednesdays and Sundays. That's to help kind of the flow of the process, but we can get anywhere between 25 to 40 applications per animal. We really do appreciate your all's find the best possible matches for the animals that are in our program. I had a question about Fitzgerald. That's another dog that's in our adoption program. And he is not currently featured in the Dogs on Zoom, but he is currently on our website and available for adoption. So I'm going to type in that adoption process for you. Wow, you guys have such good questions. Thank you guys so much. So we had a question about the possibility of fostering any of these dogs. And right now, all of these animals are available for adoption. So they're not going into foster homes per se. They'll be here at the shelter and hopefully we'll be able to find their homes very quickly. So we just had a question about whether or not you can come to the facility to fill out your adoption application. And right now, Nashville Humane, like many other shelters, are closed to the public. So we're processing everything virtually. So you're welcome to visit our website. It's nashvillehumane.org and complete the adoption application there. Just hit that submit button. The application will come to our pet services team and they will move forward. Again, we are receiving anywhere between 300 to 500 email/applications daily. So we really do appreciate your patience. While we're not able to get back to everybody within a 24-hour period, our goal is to get back to everybody with some type of communication within 48 hours. Thank you, guys. So I'm getting some questions about how to foster, and we couldn't do what we're doing right now if we didn't have an amazing foster program. We've had over 350 animals go into our foster program since we closed our doors to the public beginning on March 17th. If you're interested in fostering, you can visit our website, nashvillehumane.org, and click the foster tab. The first step is to fill out that application. Our amazing foster coordinator will review that application, and then you'll begin receiving emails as we have animals available for adoption. We are sending animals into foster daily. So please, if you are interested in fostering and you're in the Nashville or surrounding counties area, please fill out that application. We would love to have you in the Nashville Humane family. So we got a question about Gabriella's personality, and she's quirky. I think that's a good way to describe her. She's incredibly active, but she also really likes routine. She likes to do certain things at certain times. So she's looking for a family member a family that can understand that about her, that she has those quirks. She definitely has some ups. You've probably seen her jumping up and down. The good thing about that is she doesn't realize that she can jump over things. She just kind of jumps and ping pongs on those back legs. So I think she would love to learn skills, maybe potentially doing different agility and things like that. I think that would really boost her mood. So we had a question on whether or not you can adopt if you don't live in Tennessee. And right now we haven't processed a lot of adoptions outside of Tennessee, just with the quarantine and most people being asked to shelter in place. We have in the past, previous to this, adopted from all over, but we do not transport animals, so all adoptions must happen within our shelter walls or virtually in our parking lot. We're doing curbside adoptions. So I got asked what the process looks like once you've filled in an application or you're in line to meet a certain dog. We're doing our best to follow when applications are coming in. So we're still trying to follow that first come, first serve, but also trying to make sure we're making the best possible match. So for example, if you turn in an application for Moose that you had young children, we would reply and just say, we don't think that's going to be the best match, but how about meeting these dogs? So we're trying to match make as best we can because we want all of these homes to be forever homes as best as we can during this time. We've had so much success with our virtual meet and greets where people are meeting the animals via different live outcomes, Zoom being one of them. So thank you guys for joining us today. So as soon as you're in line, you'll be contacted by a member of our pet services and they'll walk you through the process. They're going to let you know at what line you're in. So for example, you might be second in line to meet a dog or third in line. Once we get to that third in line, we actually put a pause on accepting any more applications for that dog specifically, because typically within those first three, we're able to make that match. So I'm having a lot of questions about seeing a downloadable or printable application, but not being able to submit online. If you visit the website, nashvillehumane.org, and select the Adopt tab, you will see an online submittable application. You can fill out that information and it will submit directly to us. I had a question about if these are the only dogs available. So these are the 4 dogs that we're featuring on the Dogs on Zoom for Monday, but we will have additional dogs that will be featured Tuesday and Wednesday. And then there's also dogs that are on the Nashville Humane website. So if you visit nashvillehumane.org and you click the Adopt tab, you're going to see all animals that are available for adoption. And it will also explain the process to follow to adopt any of those animals. I have a question about how much exercise Moose needs daily. So here at the shelter, Moose gets out 4 times a day, typically for 10-minute spurts of energy. And he's actually doing really well with that. So I think that if he got a good walk in the morning, a good walk in the evening, and had some mental stimulation during the day, either with puzzles or cones or licking backs, things like that, I think he would do great. So I would describe him as being probably more sedentary than active. So Kitty is not currently on the website. She will go live as of tomorrow. She was a featured animal for the Dogs on Zoom, so she hadn't quite made it to the website just yet. So a lot of questions about if there's other dogs that are available for adoption at the shelter. Absolutely, we have lots of dogs that are available for adoption. These just happen to be the 4 that we're featuring with the Dogs on Zoom, presented by Pedigree. So if you are interested in adopting other dogs or you don't see the best dog for you tonight, 1, please come back Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be here with more dogs to feature. But 2, you can visit our website, nashvillehumane.org/adopt. And it's going to have all the information, including all available animals for adoption. So I had a question about, is Kitty trained yet? That's a great question, Jamie. Kitty is a puppy, just 12 weeks old. We're doing a lot of work with her to make sure she's being introduced to lots of different things and noises and sounds, and also keeping her as structured as possible with potty training. But she's going to have a lot more training that she's going to need to be that pet that everyone would want in their home. So she's going to need structure. We definitely encourage crate training for all the dogs that are adopted from us so they learn what you need and when you need that. And then positive reinforcement as you're taking them through that training process. She absolutely loves toys, as you can see. Oh, I see a really good question. How long does it take to train a dog? And that question, that answer is it depends. Um, it honestly depends on the dog, the type of dog, how they're motivated, either through treats or through toys or just getting petted and having that love. Um, patience is the most important thing, and then also making sure that you're focused on positive reinforcement, reinforcing behaviors using cookies and toys and different things like that is the best way to go about making sure you have a pet that not only um, has that bond with you, but respects you and trusts you. So I have a question. How big will each of these dogs become? Moose, Gabriella, and Mickey and Molly are fully grown, so they're not going to get any bigger. So Moose is right at 60 pounds. Gabriella is between 45 and 50. And Mickey and Molly weigh in about, I would say 12 pounds each, give or take. Now, Kitty is a puppy, so Kitty is not fully grown. Kitty is a Newfoundland mix. Kitty is probably going to weigh in and again, I don't have a magic wand or crystal ball, so I'm not sure, but she should be somewhere between 60 to 100 pounds, which is a very wide range. And I wanted to say thank you, Rebecca. Really appreciate you joining and being proud of this event. I think this is amazing. I think it's great that Pedigree brought this opportunity to us, Dogs on Zoom. Who would have ever thought that this was going to be a thing? But it's going to find a lot of dogs amazing, loving, forever homes. So Mickey and Molly are available for adoption. They're not currently available for foster. Are Kitty's eyes blue? Yes, they are. Isn't she beautiful? We absolutely adore her. We need one of you guys to snatch her up because myself and my husband have been in love with her since day one. I just had a question about Picasso. Picasso is currently in a loving forever home. He's not at the shelter. He is available for adoption. So he will not be featured in one of our dogs on Zoom as we're trying to focus on animals that are still currently in the shelter here at Nashville Humane. So the dogs that are featured on the Dogs on Zoom, so Moose, Mickey and Molly, Kitty and Gabriella, we're so incredibly thankful that our partners at Pedigree have opted to sponsor their adoption fee. So any of the animals that are featured during the Dogs on Zoom, their adoption fees have been sponsored by Pedigree US, and we're incredibly thankful for that. So thank you, Pedigree. So I wanted to go ahead and review again, everybody. We've had a few people join late, so I want to talk about each of the dogs and the adoption process. So we have Moose. Moose is a year and a half. He's about 60 pounds. He's a German Shepherd Mountain Cur mix. He's on the shyer side, so we definitely would encourage a home with that has some good structure as well as maybe kids 15 plus, just to make sure he's not having a lot of motion around him as he can get kind of nervous. Look at that yawn. We also have Mickey and Molly. They are a bonded pair of seniors. They're wonderful. They're currently napping. They're wonderful though, and they really are Netflix and chill dogs. So if you're looking to adopt dogs that are going to not need a ton of activity, who kind of come into your home ready made, they would be a great set for that. And we have Gabriella, who we adore, who is amazing. She's on the active side. She's a border collie pointer mix. So she definitely needs an active home. She really loves structure. She's working on, she is mostly housebroken. So again, with love and attention in her new home, she's gonna do amazing. And then we have Kitty. Kitty is a 12-week-old Newfoundland mix. So she's currently tiny, but she's not gonna stay tiny. While I don't have a crystal ball to know how big she's actually going to get, she's going to probably be anywhere between 60 to 100 pounds. So, oh, goodness, isn't she cute, guys? So again, if you're interested in adopting, I am typing in the adoption process for those of you asking that question, but you're welcome to visit the Nashville Humane website, nashvillehumane.org/adopt. You can fill out that online application. We are processing everything as best we can in a first come, first serve basis, meaning if you're one of the first out about the animal, we're going to try to make sure you're one of the first to actually meet the animal. However, if your application doesn't mesh with potentially with what that animal needs in their home, so for Moose, if you have a 2-year-old in the home, we're going to reach out to you and explain that we don't think that'd be the best match based on Moose's behavior in the shelter, but we might suggest other animals that would be good for you to meet. So again, if you're interested in adopting any of the animals featured here or animals that are on our website, you can visit our website at nashvillehumane.org and complete that. But again, I am typing all that in as best I can as you guys are asking that question. So I had a question about what it means to be bonded, and that's a really good question. So these dogs, Mickey and Molly, they have been together for many years, probably longer than 7 or 8. And when pets have been together for that length of time, it's very difficult to separate them. They tend to not do well. They decline medically or they decline behaviorally or sometimes both. So we at Nashville Humane are dedicated to ensuring if an animal is bonded with another animal, dog, cat, 2 dogs, 2 cats, we try to place them together as best we can. Again, we want to do what is best for the animals. Dogs are a family, and we want to make sure that they are part of the family and comfortable and set. So I had a question on whether or not there'll be different dogs featured every day, and the answer is yes. We will have new dogs featured on Tuesday and Wednesday. And you also can visit the Nashville Humane website to see other animals that are available for adoption. Thank you guys for being interested. That's amazing. So we had a question about how you can make an appointment to see a dog that you might be interested in. And right now we've had to innovate. We're close to the public. Nashville Humane has been close to the public since March 17th. And so we had to find new ways for people to meet pets. So we have the majority of our animals are in homes. We're doing virtual meet and greets with potential family members. So if you're interested in adopting a specific animal that's featured tonight or that's on our website currently, please submit that online application. If you're interested in adopting, a member of our pet services team will get back to you with the adoption process. We do ask that you provide us lots of patience as we are receiving a ton of interest, which we absolutely love. We also want to make sure we're making the best possible matches for the animals in our care. That's a good question, Jim. How much does Moose eat on an average day? And every animal is a little bit different based on their activity level. But here at the shelter, we feed 1 cup of food per 10 pounds. That's what Pedigree asked us to do, and that's what we do. We're so thankful to have Pedigree feed the animals here in our shelter. It means so much to us. So Moose eats about 4 cups a day. So we just had someone join late and they're asking for the breeds of the animals. And while I don't know exactly what they are, I'm going to do my best guess on everybody. So Moose, we have him as a German Shepherd Mountain Cur mix. And he's a little bit on the shyer side. We have Mickey and Molly. They are miniature poodles, senior bonded pair. So cute. We have Kitty. Kitty's a 12-week-old puppy. She's a Newfoundland mix. And we have Gabriella. She's a Border Collie Pointer mix. Great question about different dogs being featured. And yes, we will have different dogs featured Tuesday and Wednesday. So please come on back to Dogs on Zoom, 5 o'clock Central, both Tuesday and Wednesday. We're so thankful for Pedigree for putting on this event and letting our animals get more information and notice. So I had another question about our adoption fees, and I haven't talked about that in a minute. So we are so incredibly thankful to Pedigree. They will be sponsoring all adoptions for the dogs that are featured on the Dogs on Zoom. So if you happen to get in line and get the opportunity to adopt one of these amazing animals, the adoption fee will be sponsored for these dogs. If you end up picking out somebody else on our website, we have a sliding adoption fee plan, and we'll go over all of that with you based on the animal. But the adoption fees cover not only the animal being fully vaccinated to their age, they'll be spayed or neutered, and they'll also be microchipped. I had a question about Moose and whether or not he kind of engages once you get to know him. And yes, that's absolutely him. So once he trusts you and knows you and understands who you are, he's amazing. When he first came to the shelter, he was completely shut down. He wouldn't do in-kennel enrichment. So he wouldn't play with toys in the kennel, and he wouldn't eat snacks in his kennel. And so we 3 times a day took him out and ensured that he got outside enrichment. But also his in-kennel enrichment went outside with him. And he loved it. He ate all of his food outside, and then we slowly transitioned him inside. And so now he does in-kennel enrichment in his shelter. You can actually see one of his puzzles right there. So we're so proud of him. But again, he will engage with you once he knows you and trusts you. So I had a question about how long the animals have been in the shelter, and it varies. Moose has actually been with us for about 3 weeks here in shelter. When animals are more nervous or shut down, we like to keep them here working with our kennel team and behavior team so we can learn as much about them as possible. He's doing so well that we were able to actually make him available for adoption. And he would be eligible to go into a foster home if needed, but we think we're going to be able to find his match during this Dogs on Zoom sponsored event. So we're really excited. Kitty has been with us just for a week or so. Mickey and Molly are our longest term residents that are featured tonight. They came to us in pretty bad shape, and so they've been a part of our medical foster programs. They just came back to the shelter, and again, we're hoping that someone listening in tonight and watching these adorable bonded pair poodles are going to want to adopt them. And then, and Kitty's being adorable right now. And then we have Gabriella. Gabriella came to us from a partner shelter. She went into a foster home. She just came back to the shelter so that she could be featured tonight in the Dogs on Zoom. And I have a feeling with as much interest as we have that we found Gabriella's family at some point tonight. I had a question about Gabriella and how she would do with other animals, maybe rabbits or cats. She has a chase behavior, which can sometimes transition to being a prey behavior. So I would suggest probably no cats or rabbits for Gabriella. I had a question about Mickey and Molly and their everyday care. They are seniors. We perform dentals for each of them, something that you wouldn't have to worry about, which is nice. Upkeep for a senior can be more expensive for, your average adult or puppy. But again, there's lots of amazing ways that seniors can enrich your life. But they're wonderful. Like I said earlier, they are Netflix and chill. Like they're not looking to go for hikes or runs or anything like that. So if you have a quiet home and you're not looking for that, they'd be a great addition to your home. So I had someone ask about how to introduce a dog to a cat in your home, and there's lots of different ways to do that. We typically suggest starting with closed doors and then moving to a baby gate where they can sniff each other, and then moving to them potentially being in the same room if everything's going well. But that introduction can take anywhere from 30 days to 60 days. So it's definitely a marathon and not a sprint. So you have to be prepared for that. And you also have to be able to keep them separate during that transition period. I had a question about how you can see other dogs that are available for adoption. You can visit our website, nashvillehumane.org, and click the Adopt a Dog or Adopt a Cat button, and you can see all animals that are currently available for adoption. You also can stay tuned to our social media channels. We post new animals available for adoption on Wednesdays and Sundays, and we also post the adoption process because it has changed a little bit since we're currently closed to the public. I had a question about Kitty, whether or not she plays well with other dogs or puppies, and she's super social. She loves playing with other dogs. She actually did well with the cat in the home as well. So she's ready. She's a puppy, so it's all about what you introduce her to and that positive reinforcement that you provide her. Thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions that I haven't been able to answer, or maybe you're just recently joining, definitely type that in and let me know. I'm happy to answer those. Dogs on Zoom, pretty cool, right? Presented by Pedigree. This is pretty amazing stuff that we're able to innovate and do this and still find animals homes. Thank you for all of you for being here tonight. Oh, I have a question about our foster program. So if your foster application, so it looks like, Chris, you turned in a foster application. That's great. We're so happy to have you join the family. We approve those on a daily basis. And then you will start receiving emails or an invite to join our Facebook group so that you can see animals that are available for adoption. So stay tuned. So if you haven't heard anything yet, it'll take just a little bit, but we'd love to have you join us. So good question, Katie, asking about whether or not animals are spayed, neutered, and have vaccines and all that good stuff. So we fully vet the animals that are in our care. And what that means is they're going to be up to date on their vaccines based on their age. So if you adopt a puppy from us, they may not be fully vaccinated because puppies need multiple series of vaccines to be fully vaccinated. However, all animals leaving our care adopted will be sterilized. They'll be spayed, they'll be neutered. And we also strongly believe in microchips. So all animals will be microchipped as well. I had a question about emailing your interest and whether or not the application needs to be attached. If you email us and you say interested in Gabriella, our pet services team will forward back the process of what to do to fill out that application. You're welcome to go ahead and submit your application ahead of time so that's already in the queue. That definitely wouldn't hurt. And again, if you want to fill out the online application, you can visit nashvillehumane.org, click the adopt section, and that online application is right there. Mickey and Molly, another question about them. I love this. I hope we found their family somewhere in this. Mickey and Molly are bonded, so we are looking to place them in a home together. Had another question about fostering. That's awesome. We love fosters. We couldn't do what we do without them. If you're interested in fostering, the first step is to fill out the foster application, which is located on our website, nashvillehumane.org/foster. Fill out that application and you will receive kind of the process of how that works. Thank you so much for being interested in fostering. We appreciate that. Had a question about Kitty again, the amazing Kitty. Kitty does get along very well with cats. She actually went home this weekend and she was in a home with dogs and cats and she did great. I was really impressed with her. Where do all the dogs come from? That's a great question, Laura. So Nashville Humane partners with rural shelter partners as well as urban shelter partners across Middle Tennessee and beyond. Our motto is no limits, no boundaries. We want to ensure that we're helping at-risk animals in not only Davidson County, but across Tennessee and beyond. A lot of the animals do come to us. We also work with our community residents here in the Nashville area. So we talked earlier about Moose. Moose is an owner surrender. So Moose's family could no longer care for Moose. And so we opted to bring Moose into our program. So animals come from all over, but once they're here at Nashville Humane, it's our goal to ensure that we find the best possible home for them. So thank you guys for joining Dogs on Zoom. Pretty cool, right, guys? Presented by Pedigree. We're so thankful to have you guys here. We have about, looks like 10 more minutes. So are there any more questions? I have a question about Moose and how long it takes for him to warm up to people. It took him about 24 to 48 hours before he really trusted us and wanted to be around us, which is pretty normal for a dog who's had a lot of change in his life. But now he loves us and sees us coming in, wags his tail. He's so happy to be around us. So again, we think that if he got into a patient home, he could really blossom. Oh, Ashton, really good question. So I'm also in love with Kitty. Kitty's pretty amazing. And we are swamped with applications. So patience is like the best thing in adopting right now from any shelter, not just Nashville Humane. But typically we're responding within 42 to 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours. Wow, math is hard apparently. And making sure that everyone is getting a response. It may not be the response you want. We may already have someone for the animal that you're interested in, but our goal is to help you find a pet too. So be patient with us and we're going to help all of you guys find someone. Oh, good question. So if you can't adopt right now, how can you help your local shelter? So if you're not local to Nashville or you are local to Nashville, there's lots of ways that you can help the shelter in your community. Donating, we're a not-for-profit, so any funds coming in are going to help us keep operations going and continue to allow for us to save lives and do all the work that we need to be able to do. So thank you guys. You also can look to see what your shelters might need in kinds, meaning donations that they might need either for their enrichment program or towels or blankets. Here at Nashville Humane, we do enrichment every day and we're utilizing peanut butter, canned chicken, different sorts of things that keep the animals happy and engaged. So I definitely would encourage you to visit the local shelters, Facebook pages, websites. They're going to tell you how you can be involved. And here at Nashville Humane, helping us do the work that we do either through monetary donations or in-kind donations means a lot. And the one big way that the entire country has done to step in, that's fostering. At one point, we had over 350 animals in foster. So if you can't adopt right now, but you could temporarily take an animal into your home, that's a great way to help save a life and make room for another animal for our shelter. So another great question about how our adoption process has changed based on COVID and safer at home. Our adoption process is as contactless as possible. All adoption meet and greets are done virtually. When you come to adopt, we ensure that our staff is wearing a mask and that we keep appropriate social distancing. We also have what's called drop kennels. So the animals are placed into that kennel. There's an entrance for our staff person. There's an entrance for the public. So that, again, we're using different doors. And then as soon as the new adopter has their pet, we get an appropriately distanced, safe distance, and we take an amazing adoption photo because we're so incredibly thankful that people are still adopting during this time. Good question, Chris. How do you know if your application has been approved? So our adoption process is a little bit different right now. So while we encourage you to go ahead and submit your online application, the first step is to email our team to let us know that you're interested so they can walk you through kind of the new process as it's ever changing. So if you're interested in adopting, step one is to email our team and say, interested in adopting X. Then our team will forward you the process, fill out that online application, and be in touch. Again, earlier we talked about how many applications we're getting per animal. We can get anywhere between 45 to 50 applications for a single animal. And I have a feeling I'm going to have that many for Kitty when we get back. So excited about that. So what I really encourage you to do is to be patient. It can be anywhere between 24 to 72 hours before we're able to get back to you to let you know where you're at in line to adopt. So we're going to do our best to make the best possible match. Great question. So if you fill out your foster application, how will you know when there's a dog for you to foster? So once your application has been approved, you will be added into an email thread, and we email out weekly foster needs, sometimes twice a week. If the animal happens to one you think would fit best into your home, you can respond to that email, and our foster coordinator will do her best to make sure she's matching the pet with the best possible home. When you fill out your foster application, it's incredibly important that you really take time to talk about your home and what you feel comfortable in fostering. That helps us hone in on making sure we're making the best possible match. So for example, if you want to foster an animal and you feel comfortable giving meds, that's great. That's going to help us kind of place. Maybe you can bottle feed, or you'd be interested in learning how to bottle feed. We have a tremendous amount of neonate animals that come into our shelter. So it's incredibly important that you are as detailed in the application as possible. Great question, Jamie. So how much food do they eat and how do I pick the right food? So here at the shelter, we are incredibly lucky. We are part of the Pedigree feeding program. So Pedigree feeds all of our pets in our shelter. And we encourage you keeping them on that food. It's going to stay consistent. It's going to ensure that they have the best GI system. So at the shelter, we feed a cup of food per 10 pounds of animal. So that would mean Kitty currently weighs 15 pounds. So she gets a cup and a half of food during the day. We break that up between breakfast and dinner. Activity level does play a run in that. So you'll definitely want to work with your veterinarian once you're home to make sure you're not underfeeding or overfeeding. Wow, guys, I can't believe it. We're like 8 minutes away from our first. Thank you guys for being here and asking such great questions. I really appreciate it. Great question, John. So what are my favorite shows on Netflix? They have actually been watching Gilmore Girls. If you've watched it, you know it's a great rewatch all the time, but they absolutely love it. And they love our ICOM system. They actually get to listen to music all day long, and it really keeps them nice and calm. And guys, as we're winding down, don't forget to join us Tuesday and Wednesday. That's right. We have 2 more days of Dogs on Zoom presented by Pedigree. There'll be new dogs being featured. We've already talked about it. The adoption fees of the animals being featured tonight, Tuesday and Wednesday, are being sponsored by Pedigree. That's amazing. It doesn't happen all the time, guys. So if you are interested in adopting, make sure you follow the adoption process and let's get all of these animals homes. So Kitty is just amazing all on her own. We had a question if we put some peanut butter on Kitty's tail to get her to chase it. No, she actually is just amazing all in her own right. She's entertaining herself, which that's great for a puppy, right, guys? So someone just said these are the calmest animals they've ever seen in an animal shelter. That means a lot. We work so hard. The team here at the shelter works tirelessly, day in, day out, to ensure that the animals are getting the enrichment that they need to be comfortable and happy and healthy while they're in our care. But we don't want them to be here for forever. We want to make sure that they get homes, forever homes. So thank you guys for being here tonight on Dogs on Zoom, presented by Pedigree. We're so happy to have you guys here. So someone just asked if there are profiles for the dogs featured tonight. They will be going up on our website a little bit later, but you can, all profiles for all dogs are on our website, nashvillehumane.org/adopt. Hey, Abby, thank you for asking about donations of dog food. We are not able to accept open bags of dog food. However, we do have a food bank. So if you are wanting to donate food, our food bank is always in need. You can order that through Amazon to be as contactless as possible, or you can do a contactless delivery to the shelter. We have rolling bins outside of the main doors. Thank you so much. So we had a question about Mickey. What type of dog is Mickey? Mickey and Molly are both miniature poodles of some sort, or variety, both seniors, and they are bonded. Gabriella, guys, I would like to point out that Gabriella does sometimes sit still. So if you guys can look now, she's been active this entire time, jumping and being silly, and look at her now being so good. So there's a question about if you can adopt if you live outside of Nashville. And right now we are adopting to people who can make their way to Nashville. We're not able to transport animals. And again, with the country and lots of different spaces being in shelter in place, we have been adopting more locally. So we had a question about hyperallergenic dogs and whether or not National Humane has any. We have lower shedding dogs, so dogs with hair instead of fur tend to do well in homes with allergies, but that's that family. So Kitty, who has tons of interest, they all do, which is great. Kitty is a Newfoundland mix, so she's going to be a big kid, about the size of a bear when she's all grown up, anywhere between 60 to 100 pounds. So we have just 3 minutes to go in our first Dogs on Zoom presented by Pedigree. Thank you for joining us. This is amazing. I've had so much fun answering your questions. We couldn't do this without amazing partnerships like Pedigree. We're so thankful to get these animals. Wednesday, we'll be back here with new animals to feature, 5 p.m. German Shepherd for Mountain Cur mix, and I'm in love with him. We have Mickey and Molly, our bonded pair of seniors. They are amazing, and they've actually gone to sleep for the night, so they may not move around much more. We have Kitty. Kitty is a 12-week-old puppy Newfoundland mix. She's going to be a big kid, but she's going to give some home, and she's going to give someone just lots of years of enjoyment. I can't wait to get updates on that. And then we have Gabriella. There she is. She's amazing. She's a year and a half. She is an active girl. She is amazing. And she cannot wait till one of you guys snatch her up. So I have about 2 minutes. I'll try to answer some questions if we have any more. You guys have been amazing. I'm so glad that we had so many people join us. This has been so cool. One minute to go. Guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you for joining us. Dogs on Zoom, presented by Pedigree. We're going to be back here tomorrow and Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Central. So tune in. New dogs, new stories. It'll be me again still, but it's going to be tons of fun. Dogs on Zoom. This has been amazing. Thank you guys so much. NashvilleHumane.org/adopt. You can see everybody and learn the adoption process. Thank you guys. I love it. Somebody said they'd rather Zoom with us than their coworkers. Thank you. That's a huge compliment. And good night, guys. It's been fun. Dogs on Zoom, presented by Pedigree. We'll see you back here Tuesday at 5 p.m.